With Captain America the Winter Soldier opening this weekend, what better time to look back at the 1990 Captain America that Marvel would rather you forget? Captain America is a 1990 action-adventure film from director Albert Pyun. The movie opens in Italy in 1936. Where else would you open a movie called Captain America? A bunch of people are sitting around listening to a kid play piano when a group of Nazis moves in. There's no subtitles for this part, so I'll just add my own.
Come osa? Con che diritto invade la mia casa? Fuoco!
They kidnap the boy and force him to watch as they kill everyone in the room. Over in Fortress Lorenzo, the Nazis are breeding an army of super mice. They bring in the boy from earlier to conduct some experiments on him. The head scientist doesn't want to experiment on the boy and escapes. 7 years later, in 1943,
Dr. Vaselli, a scientist who escaped from Italy, has perfected a process that can take a boy with birth defects and make him as fast and as strong as an athlete.
why not just take an athlete and do the same process? Or does it only work on people with birth defects? Over in California, at the home of Steve Rogers, a guy with polio and the U.S.'s top candidate for the project. His family's giving him a going-away party before he heads off to die. Heads off to enlist in a top-secret government experiment. Steve goes to see his girlfriend Bernice, who is so upset she makes the music skip.
Bernie. What is it?
I'm sorry. It's just...
The military's there to pick up Steve, and I have to wonder if he's doing this as a way to honor his father or escape an overly attached girlfriend.
I'll wait for you. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
So he smokes? I'm starting to think I'm watching Captain America. Two officers stop at a cafe.
How's the pot roast today, Roz?
Oh, every Thursday this guy asks me about the pot roast. One of these days I'm gonna shoot him. The men enter a hidden passageway to a secret bunker. They head in to see Lieutenant Colonel Gunther.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
They start the process and inject Steve with the mutagen, which makes all the machines go haywire. You think they could find a way to do this without all the theatrics? Well, here's the problem. All his limbs were made out of foam rubber.
Oh, remarkable work, Dr. Vaselli. Congratulations.
Why did the Nazi spy wait until after the procedure to kill the doctor? Steve takes a few bullets and kills the spy. Now it's time for Captain recovering from surgery. The colonel's talking to the doctors about Steve's recovery. Steve announces he's ready to fight, so they book him on the next plane to Germany.
Colonel Lewis? Sir?
I'm feeling kinda silly in this outfit. Captain America's sneaking into the Nazi base. This is the worst camouflage ever. He throws his shield and knocks down the post. Using the rule of Bay, these barrels have to be filled with volatile, explosive chemicals. He heads into the base and face-to-face with Red Skull. He looks like I did that one summer after I fell asleep on the beach. Captain America gets into a fistfight with Red Skull. He sounds less German and more Transylvanian.
Good, an American. Just when I am needing help of my English lessons.
Red Skull pokes him with a needle and knocks him out. They strap him to a missile headed for the White House. Cap grabs him before the missile launches, and Red Skull cuts his hand off so he doesn't get taken along. In Washington, D.C., we get a little foreshadowing. Young Thomas Kimball sneaks out to see the White House, just in time to see Captain America deflect the missile. The missile eventually runs out of fuel and crashes into Alaska. This must be one of those missiles that only explodes if it hits its target. Captain America's frozen in the ice for decades. Cut to years later, and Tom Kimball grows up to be president. He's changing laws to make it tougher for chemical manufacturers. Back at the fortress, the general's having a meeting with Red Skull, telling him that Kimball must be stopped. Well, looks like Red Skull's been using Proactive. So now he's a little more beige skull. Some researchers find Captain America's body. The ice melts and Cap manages to bust out.
Nazis.
He's wearing a red, white, and blue outfit that has a big A on his forehead, and the first thing you can think of is Nazis? The news makes it to the front page, and the president sees it, which reminds him of his encounter he had as a kid. Kimball calls his childhood buddy Sam, who then heads out to try and find him. Red Skull sees the picture and sends his daughters out to kill him. The Nazis spot him pretty easily. They send a team of motorcycle commandos to take him out because, why not? For a superhero, he's not very good at this. As convenience would have it, Sam shows up and takes him to safety. Cap repays him by stealing his car.
Don't leave me out here!
He stows away on a truck to sneak back into the U.S., all the while dreaming of his best girl. He makes his way to Bernice's house to see her. Some super soldier, he gets knocked down by a can of soda. Bernice comes out, but now she's old, and so much for waiting forever and ever.
This can't be real.
It is.
That look on his face says, well, guess I'm gonna have to date your daughter. She invites him in for a bran muffin, Metamucil, and other old people things. See, 'cause she's old. Sam finds out where Bernice lives and leads the Nazis right to her. Stock jet noise.
Golden Jet, Captain America's in California.
They kill Bernice and critically wound Sam and her father. A special bulletin announces the president has been kidnapped. Steve and Sharon head into the hidden military base to find the doctor's secret notes on the super soldier project. They find the diary and try to sneak out, but run into a bunch of Nazis. Cap finally seems to be learning how to fight, so he takes them all out. Did he drop this guy down a bottomless pit? Red Skull wants to put the mind control implant in the president, but it takes about 24 hours before it's ready. Driving through Italy, Cap uses the same trick to steal the car from Sharon. They're not showcasing him as an all-American hero, they're showcasing him as a jerk. Even though he ditched her, Sharon still catches up to him. The Nazis find him and chase him through the streets. I don't know about you, but when I think Captain America, I don't think wacky bike chase.
What are you doing?
Hang on, Sharon. This bike's got no brakes.
Sharon fools the cops and takes Red Skull's daughter's purse, but gets kidnapped by the Nazis. So Cap suits up to go rescue her and save the president. The president escapes his cell, and how does he know who Sharon is?
Karen.
He jumps off the roof and Cap saves him. They then exchange some long overdue pleasantries.
We've met.
I don't see how. You mean, you were the little boy?
The president calls in his troops while Cap goes to get the Red Skull. President Ronnie Cox is kicking some ass. Cap and Red Skull face off. Don't try to stop him before he gets his gun or anything. Red Skull sets off a detonator that'll blow up half the world. Cap takes him out with his shield in the silliest way.
Speak for yourself.
So Captain America stopped Red Skull, saved the girl, and rescued the president. Only one thing left to do then. The movie was filmed in California and Yugoslavia, back when it still was Yugoslavia, for a rumored $10 million. Making this film was an uphill battle. This was back when Marvel had little interest in branching out into film, which is the polar opposite of now since they're making movies about everyone. Back then, though, they didn't see the potential in this, which I find funny considering that Batman was the second highest grossing film of the year in 1989. Director Albert Pyun had been working with Canon Films since 1985. He grew up reading Captain America, but didn't want to direct the film because he felt the script at the time was terrible. Pyun was in good with the team of Golan Globus. They owned the film rights to the character and wanted to make a movie before the rights reverted back to Marvel. Globus left the team, but Menahem Golan still wanted to move forward with the film. A new script was written by Stephen Tolkien, and Pyun liked it so much, he agreed to direct. That's Tolkien in a cameo as the cameraman. Production manager Mark Fisher made things very difficult on set. He often badmouthed the production as well as the company while they were filming. They lost their funding a few times because of this, which screwed up the production schedule. Because of this, many of the big action scenes had to be cut out because they couldn't afford to shoot them. The end result was much different than the original script. Because so much action was cut, the film played out more like a character film instead of a superhero one. Columbia TriStar was unhappy with what Pyun had made and removed him from the production. They recut the movie, and originally it was supposed to be released in 1990 on the 50th anniversary of Captain America. However, the studio shelved it and released it on home video 2 years later. For all the production woes, it's amazing they were able to even get a finished feature out of this. For Captain America, originally they wanted Howie Long, but he was busy with another project at the time. They brought in actor Matt Salinger because Pune liked his all-American looks. He's the son of famous author J.D. Salinger, who wrote the controversial The Catcher in the Rye. Pune wanted a different actor to play the frail Steve Rogers, and then have Salinger to play Captain America, but Marvel insisted they both be played by the same actor. Originally the mask for the costume had ear holes, but Salinger's ears were getting chafed, so they made a new mold with fake ears. While the costume is very close to the classic Captain America uniform, I think the big problem is with the eye holes. They're just a bit too far apart, which makes him look like he has derp face the whole movie. The new mask Chris Evans wears was more aesthetically pleasing because it has the shape of an old football helmet and better placement of the eye holes, although that movie had a $140 million budget and probably a team of designers to work on the look of the suit. Salinger still has the outfit, but unfortunately lost the shield. The Mutant Rat was stop-motion animation and was done by Fantasy 2, the company that did the stop-motion animation for the original Terminator. Ned Beatty's son plays the younger version of him. Red Skull's makeup took 6 hours each day to apply. The rocket Captain America was attached to was connected to a crane outside the building and was pulled up through a hole in the roof. Stan Lee had a cameo in the film that ended up being cut by the studio. This movie is not without its fault, but it doesn't deserve the amount of hate it gets. It's not as polished as the new Captain America, but again, this was a different time, and it only had a fraction of the budget. With all the trouble of this, The Punisher, and the Fantastic Four movies had, I'm amazed that Marvel finally wised up and realized how badly they were screwing over their own product.
There was a time, a special place, where I just don't know. I'm all alone in a cold, cold world. It's hard, but I'm still trying.
Steve!
Mr. President! Thanks.